I'm Sue Roop. You know me from Small Talk, etc. And I'm sitting in today for Gilda Lesser on local authors. And do I have somebody for you to stay tuned to listen to? Really, he is phenomenally gifted. You have got to stay right here and don't go away, because I'm going to introduce you to Jason Shimberg. And he's written a book called Some Lucid, and he has a blog called
luckytobelucid.blogspot.com.
luckytobelucid.blogspot.com. And he has a new book, Some Lucid, and you are going to love this book. It's prose and poetry woven in a narrative that explores Jason's particular journey. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you.
Hey, I'm just really fascinated by this book. I've read it twice now, and I find you have a line that I particularly love. It's called, "This is not a story of losing or winning the game. It's more about breaking even."
Yeah. I think for me it was like the title says a lot about the book, because some is Latin for I am. So lucid is, general sense, it's sane. So the declaration of saying I am sane and then writing about it and telling people where you come from. And I mean, the book is about struggle. So I lived the better part of the book. Yeah.
You grew up in Deerfield, didn't you?
Yeah. Deerfield, I grew up in this area. I've obviously moved a lot. You hear about the moving part, but I came back and I like it here. It's nice.
Yeah. You went to Highland Park High School?
I went to Deerfield.
Deerfield High School.
Deerfield High School.
Oh, interesting. And when you were 19, you had a diagnosis of being bipolar, right?
Yeah. I mean, high school didn't seem like. I mean, you see movies about kids growing up with bipolar, and you hear their journals and their diaries. But I never really kept a journal in high school, and I just it was like the last year of high school. I was just severely depressed, and I had a knee injury, and I was playing basketball, and I couldn't play basketball anymore, and I was going to get recruited. So after they stopped sending letters about the recruitment, I got severely depressed, and I was diagnosed with bipolar. Yeah.
And that began your journey, right?
It began a different, the road less traveled, I want to say, because I felt my destiny was to play college basketball and go somewhere with that, go somewhere with athletics, really.
Mm-hmm. And suddenly here you were, a diagnosis.
I know it was strange. It was very strange. It was a strange part of my life, but I don't regret it. I don't regret anything I did, because it made me a stronger person right now. Yeah.
Right. You went out to California, right?
Yeah. There were several stops along the way. I mean, I went to a prep school out east to finish, to try to play a post-grad year, and that's when I got depressed, and I moved to Boulder in Colorado, and I went to Naropa University, and I found some people there who really spoke my language, a lot of good teachers that were beat poets, and I developed this poetry that was really coming out of a deep, a soul-rooted experience, and but several hospitalizations later, I mean, I met a girlfriend in Boulder, and she didn't know I was bipolar, and that's a difficult subject when you're in a relationship and you're trying to tell the other person you're bipolar, and they're not sure what that is, or they're not sure how to really deal with it, and that was a difficult struggle. But you need someone who was strong, and she was strong enough to deal with it. And we moved out to California, where, I mean, it's 7 degrees in the winter, and it's heaven. So you first get there, and the depression really lifts. So I was looking for a place like that, and I found it in San Diego for a long time. Yeah.
And then you experimented with some drugs?
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, the drugs were an escape, an escape from maybe mania, and escape from my own personality, because I felt like people didn't want me as the way I was, or the drugs I was taking, prescribed drugs, weren't helping that much, and I really didn't like the feeling of the prescribed drugs, the side effects. So I would experiment with recreational drugs, and yeah, I mean, it was, again, it made me who I was, but it really didn't accentuate any of my qualities, really. Yeah.
And you wound up being homeless for a while?
Yeah, I was in California, and the book discusses it discusses how I became homeless. But on several different occasions, I was living on the beach, and I was begging for spare change, and not really knowing where my next meal would come from, and it was definitely it was a struggle. It was a struggle, but yeah.
How did you wind up in jail?
Yeah, associated with the homelessness, I just again I was looking for places to sleep, and not being able to sleep on the beach. At night it would get 65 degrees, or it would go down to 30 degrees at night, and I was like, I gotta find a place to sleep. So I walked into a home where I used to live, and unfortunately, or fortunately for me, because a lot of homeless people wanted to get caught by the police because it was free food and it was free room and board. So it was like, okay, well, if I get caught by the police, I'll at least I have somewhere to sleep tonight. And that was my thinking. And coming from an area like the North Shore, not a lot of people really know that that's possible, and it was possible for me. I was 24, and I really hadn't found myself as far as employment or anything.
Sure,
yeah.
Sure. And the drugs were failing you.
Yeah, the drugs did not help me.
The drug for bipolar.
Yeah, I mean, some people. I mean, even like a drug like marijuana. I mean, when you smoke it, it can develop psychosis, and for someone with mania and bipolar and rapid cycling, it's just like it really offends the disease, and the disease doesn't really deal with it well. So
how did you get involved with North Star in Bend, Oregon?
I was in the hospital in Highland Park, and someone said to me, "There's this place in Oregon," and I remember them talking to my parents. And my parents had divorced when I was 13, and he just mentioned it, and it was funny because I wanted to go to a regular college, or just deal, have fun, but I was dealing with all this stuff, and I had to get serious at a young point in my life. So I grew up pretty fast there, and I did go to North Star for 3 months, and again I had trouble finishing these things, even around people who were dealing with similar things. So I had trouble completing North Star, but I met some great people along the way there.
Could you read us your poem "Fat"?
Yeah.
I'm just enchanted with your poetry.
Thanks. This is called "Fat." A tumble and then a loud rumble. A fumble, a protection sack, a heart attack. Before sleep, there is a drip of dreamy substance that forms right on the tip of you wish you could speak and hear such in waking life. The light is clear and you are headed for another knife. The life is unjust because you had bacon and sausage for breakfast. You did not care when the doctors told you beware. Spread butter on the problem. The fast did not work. You are roughly 3 bills, but still able to function. I make most deductions. You tell your loved ones, I must get out and jump rope or run, erase the last 50 pounds.
Did it either though?
First time. It's first time.
But publishing houses these days only market the top handful of sellers.
Yeah.
You have to do the marketing yourself on everything.
Yeah.
You have to become your own distributor. But I can tell you out there that you should be going out and buying this book. A combination of prose and poetry. It's really good. Things better with your folks now?
Yeah,
your family?
Yeah, I mean, it's always because my mom suffers from some illness too, and it's hard for us to see eye to eye because we're so similar. But my dad has been a rock for me, and my sister's always in my life, and with the divorce, it's just been difficult. But I have good friends, good family, and I definitely have I have extended family now, and I just I like where I am, like emotionally and mentally. So everything's easier with family, when that happens. But yeah, a lot of kids go through that. I mean, a lot of kids with divorce, 50%, 50% of people get divorced. So it's like, for me, that was so difficult. And I don't know where bipolar comes from. I mean, it is a chemical imbalance, and it could be hereditary, it could be from my mom, or it could be something I was just had to deal with. But yeah, I mean, it was so pivotal that because I love both my parents so much. When they got divorced, it was.
Oh, that was hard.
Yeah, it's talked about. There's actually a whole chapter in the book about the divorce. So.
What's the name of your blog again?
Lucky to be Lucid, which is .blogspot.com. So.
Lucky to be Lucid.
Yeah, lucky.
.blogspot.com.
Yep.
Oh, that's good, because people should go there and read your blog.
Yeah.
And do you have a working title for your next book?
I was thinking about California Knows, Chicago Knows, and that was the working title. But
we'll see. You'll have your second book pretty soon.
Yeah.
Don't forget out there, you can go to my website, sueroop.com, and see what we're up to in the creative writing teaching business. And I really love having you on the show. I mean, the idea that you could come through all of this and then write a book, I think is such a wonderfully positive thing. You know, I work with authors and writers all the time who are always worried about, how can I do this? How can I do this? Are the scenes right? Are the characters right? And you know, you got to a place where you wrote about your life, which was authentic. Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing. You know, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
Everybody struggles with it. And yet you were able to take all that material and organize it and put it into a book. And now you've got a second book coming out too. Yeah. That's wonderful.
Thank you. I really like being here. It was something I was looking forward to, and I thank you for...
Oh, our pleasure.
Yeah.
I think the best thing is for everybody to go to Amazon or... What's the local bookseller?
Well, Lulu. And there's... you could check out the Highland Park Library.
Highland Park Library.
That's something you could do. And then lulu.com or amazon.com. And
Amazon.
Some Lucid, S-U-M, Lucid.
I think that would be wonderful. I think everybody should read this. And I'm glad the Highland Park Library has a copy.
Yeah.
Because then it's so easy. You just go in and you can read it.
I know.
Oh, isn't that the best? Being able to say, oh, the Highland Park Library has a copy of my book.
Yeah, it is the best because the library is your best friend. I mean, it lets you check out whatever you want, and you have to pay.
And people are knowledgeable about so many things and can find you so many things. There are books that I've checked out that, I didn't think they had any copies of them. When I went in, you do have this, and I couldn't find it, but by George.
Yeah.
The librarian did.